This is Lisa, the author of Conflagration. I'm going to take a closer look at the character development for one of our main characters, Captain Jennifer Bronwen. I want to share a bit of the development process that I go through when I'm building characters for the story. So, first frame please. So every story needs a hero or two, and Jen is one of ours. There are a ton of leader and agent characters in the game, from lots of different races. But one thing that's important in building a believable sci-fi story is a viewpoint the reader can relate to. Someone who will always think, feel and react the way you or one of your friends might. Jen's the character who primarily fills this role, provides that viewpoint in the story. Jen's a human, she's a member of the Marauder faction, so her faction characteristics might initially have suggested that she would be a soldier of some kind. Well, that would have meant focusing the plot quite tightly on military engagements and procedures. And I wanted a story that would explore the galaxy more broadly, so I needed a character with a great degree of freedom to move around. Thus the idea of making Jen a mercenary freighter captain and a pilot, with a military background to give her the skill set and as a nod to the faction heritage of the Marauders. Here we can see Jen's original sketchboard. I mapped out a character for her and a few tropes, just using them to draw in the lines of her personality. I wanted to capture a sort of classic rogue feel for her. She inhabits a world of pioneers and criminals, so she's not afraid of breaking rules or getting into situations where violence might be required to solve a problem. But, to be a hero in the more classic sense, she also needs to have some redeeming positive qualities. She's brave, she's kind, and she's pretty loyal to her friends and her clients. And she hates to be called Jenny. Now, that might seem like an unimportant detail, but it's little things like that that add depth and realism to a character. Just like her love of hot sauce. So when we join the story, Jen's setting up a heist that could potentially make her fortune, no pun intended. My character board asked the question, how did I end up responsible for fixing this? Since at the beginning of the story, Jen is nobody's idea of someone who should be trying to save the galaxy. How she grows into that role is something we'll discover as the story develops, and that growth is pretty critical to any good, believable character. If a character doesn't change and grow as the plot of a story unfolds, then they're going to end up feeling pretty static and two-dimensional. People change and learn all the time, day to day. Good characters should too, and that's something that goes for villains as well as heroes. So Jen is pretty much my favourite character to write with, in that I find her the easiest to hear. Her way of speaking and her sense of humour are fun to work with, and she's developed a natural sarcasm and a bit of a temper over the course of the book so far. One thing that surprised me is how empathetic she's turned out to be. I mean, that's honestly one of the most rewarding things about writing. The way that the characters and the events that you envisage evolve, change, and take on a life of their own that can be very far from what you originally thought of. You can pick up traits and tics that you never imagined they were going to have. So, in a nutshell, that's how Jen got her start in Conflagration. Next time we do one of these, we'll look at her counterweight and her partner in crime, Kira. But for now, thanks for backing us, and stay tuned.